Hi everyone. So I just wanted to come on and tell a little bit of what has been going on in my life right now. So if you follow me on any of my social medias, which are Facebook or YouTube, I've been a bit distant. I don't have any more tears to cry right now. I mean, more will come later in the day, I'm sure, but 2 weeks ago, just about 2 weeks ago. Well, let me rewind. Toward the beginning of the summer, my 11-year-old daughter, Joelle, was complaining of dizziness, headaches. She was almost passing out. And this was like so not her because she, is so outgoing, so full of life, and just, so every time these things would happen, we would have her seen. We would take her to the emergency room, health centers, her regular doctor, and nobody did anything. Nobody did any scans or anything. So just about 14 days ago, she had said, "Mama, I'm not feeling very well." And I was like, "Okay, honey, what's not feeling well?" And she said, "I've got the headache, I got a pain in my head, and I've got the pain in my side again." And I said, "Okay, oh," and she said, "My heart's beating really fast." And I did put my hand on her chest, and it was really racing. So I said, "Okay, we're going to the ER." So we went to the ER, and they took us in pretty quick, which is unusual for our local emergency room. And they did a chest X-ray that came back abnormal, which led them to do a CAT scan, which showed even more. So to make a long story short, the ER doctor said he had seen something like this before, and he was also talking with other members of the team and called other doctors and whatever and had them look at the scans and whatnot. And he said, "I can't tell you 100%, but this does look like a cancer." And I said, well, first, I didn't say anything. We froze. We went numb, my husband and I. And of course, Joelle wasn't hearing this because he pulled us out into the hall. And it was just like everything shut off. To hear that word, for one. And for two, to hear that word, addressed to your child, we just shut right off. And then, it's almost like we came to, and okay, so can this be cured? Can this be treated? And he says, "I think this is more of a terminal cancer." And then we really shut down. And he said, "But I can't be for certain until more testing is done, like biopsies and whatnot." So they sent us to another hospital, a bigger hospital, which is not local to us, so we had to travel, which is fine. I rode in the ambulance with my daughter because obviously she was hooked up to things. And my husband drove behind us, and that was an hour away. So all that time, you have to think in your head, and as you look at your child, am I going to lose my baby, and a nightmare that I never want to have to experience. Nobody wants to experience, and oh my gosh, you think to yourself, there's a reality of that fucking cancer word, right? But you never in a million years think, or you always think to yourself, well, that can't happen to my family. That can't happen to my child. She's so young, Who would have thought? Well, it happens. It happens. Anyways, we get to Albany. I just gave that away. I was going to kind of keep that discreet, but so we get to the big hospital. They immediately, we had to be in the ER for a little bit, the pediatric ER. And then they got us up to a room relatively quickly. And by then, I had walked out of her room, and there was a nurse in the hallway, and I said, is there a place where I can go and just melt down, because I need to let this out. This has to go somewhere. And she put her arm around me, and she goes, is it okay if I hug you? And I was like, sure. And she goes, that little girl's gonna be okay. And I said, what do you mean she's gonna be okay? They just pretty much told us to plan the funeral back at home. And she goes, they should never have told you anything like that. She goes, wait till you talk to the specialist. Long story short, she gets up in her room. Oncologist comes in, and the whole team starts working together. More x-rays are done, CAT scans are done, which led to bone marrow biopsies, PET scans, ultrasounds of the heart in the area, a mass the size of an avocado sitting on top of her heart, well, in front of her heart, not to mention the life-threatening amount of fluid that was around her heart. And so that's why she was getting those symptoms. It was her body's way of trying to tell her, there's something wrong. But we were ignored every time we went, except for that last time. So they had to put in a drain. They had to do a surgery to drain the fluid, which turned out to be, the woman had showed me as a comparison to a Sprite bottle, which is bigger than this. She goes, there were this full and then some, plus what's still draining, has been around her heart all this time. And all that pressure, I was like, so all that pressure and stuff that she's been feeling, she's just been thinking it's something normal. And they said, yeah. And that broke my heart, because like I said, she's so outgoing, full of life, always wanting to play. She has a swimming pool, we have trampolines, we have a lot going on all the time. And so they drained that, and it took days beyond that to drain it. And so she had to have a drain that was hooked to her side, which had a line on it, and then like this big bulb, and you could see it draining. And so they would have to come in, they would have to empty that each day, a couple times a day. And that went on for about 4 or 5 days. In the meantime, we had gotten the official diagnosis. Our daughter has lymphoma B cell, and it's an aggressive lymphoma, so it was spreading quickly. She is at stage 2. So once she was able to get the drain out, they were able to move her over to the pediatric cancer floor and start her treatments, which were our chemotherapy. So for 7 days straight, 24 hours a day, they ran 5 different chemotherapies through her little body. She did very well. I can't thank the God and the Goddess and the universe enough for all those answered prayers. But it's going to be a long journey. Again, like I said, for the next 5 to 6 months, our lives will be traveling. 1 week stay at the hospital for a full week of treatment, then back home for 2 weeks. While we're home for that 2-week break, we still have to go back 2 to 3 times a week to have labs done. We don't want to get the labs done in our local hospital because they are shit. It's not a reliable place, and we don't want anything to go wrong. So we are so stressed out, but at the same time, we're hopeful now that we have got news. There's a 90-something percent rate of a cure for this. So we've just got to stay hopeful. I mean, she's our baby. She's our everything. So while we're home, we just got home yesterday after being gone for 14 days. So it was hell. Being away from home, being far away from home. We have our animals. Thank goodness my son was here and he took care of them. And, you know, we had left the house as is. We were just living our normal lives up to, you know, 14 days ago. And then this tragedy hit. So we also had family members come, you know, pick the house up, just do the little things that needed to be done that we just didn't have a chance to do at the time. You know, like some dishes needed to be done. My son ain't gonna do dishes. But, you know, and vacuum. I wanted the floors cleaned, and, you know, I'm like that. I like to have everything clean. Well, that was done. So she's very fragile, but she's doing very well. We have so many people supporting us. We never in a million years thought, you know, so many people would come together. And it's just remarkable. Just today, the local fire company came in the trucks. She was able to get up into the fire trucks. They brought her favorite ice cream, 2 gallons. So that was fun for her. She does have a, what is it called? A PICC line. And it's a sort of a IV, but different. It's, you know, so that she can receive all of her chemotherapy and all of her medications when she's at the hospital. But it has to stay in for the whole 5 to 6 months. So while at home, we've had to learn how to flush those lines, which we were terrified, you know, something, oh my gosh. I mean, we've been home one night and we've already been in contact with her doctor and everything, make sure we did everything right. And so that's another scary thing. She doesn't have any hair already because within the next week or so, they said, is when she will start losing her hair. And so we had told her that, you know, there were specialists. We kept it from her for days. We didn't want to tell her that word because she would have automatically thought, you know, when my sister passed away, and my sister was her best friend, her favorite aunt, and she had cancer. And that was in 2023. So we had the professionals show us the way, and they were the ones that came out and told her, and immediately looked at us. Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? And when you see your child her little face and her words when she said that, oh my gosh. What do you say to a child who has cancer when they ask you that? And my reply was, honey, we're all gonna die someday. But we don't think that you're gonna die from this cancer because you have a cancer that can be cured. And then her next question came, am I gonna lose my hair? Is my hair gonna fall out? And I was the one who told her, yeah. And she really, really went off. She goes, but Mom, I was growing my hair out for this year. I said, I know, baby. And your hair is going to grow back just as beautiful when this is all over. But to see the pain and the fear in such a bright child who cares about everybody else more than she cares about herself, my whole world just shattered. Her dad's too, even the nurses. But we got through that, and a couple days later I had asked her, you know, because they had mentioned that they have a salon there for these reasons. I was like, do you think maybe you want to have your hair cut really short so you can see how it looks? And she goes, Mommy, I don't want to feel my hair coming out when I'm in the shower, taking my shower or brushing my hair. And I don't blame her, because I I wouldn't either. So she goes, I don't want to get a short haircut. She goes, I just want it all off. And I was like, if that's what you want, then that's what we'll do. So the salon and the hospital did that for her. And then she went through the stage where she was saying she was ugly, and she's not. She's so beautiful. And she's past that now. She just doesn't want pictures taken if she's not in one of her beanies right now. So, which is understandable. So, I guess I just wanted to come on here and let everybody know a little bit of our story. If you're watching from YouTube, you know, I know I'm not one of those great big popular YouTube channels, but YouTube is my little place. I love my little corner of the world in YouTube, and I enjoy watching so many of the YouTubers. I should have brought tissue in here. And I'm going to continue to get back to doing videos because I have to keep my sanity. And at first when I thought of that, I thought, wow, you are selfish. But then I said to myself, you know what? You're not selfish, because you've got to do you before you can do anybody else. And the fact that we have the good news, that this can be cured. It's not going to be easy, like they said, but it can happen. It's going to happen, should I say. Gives me hope, and it tells me that I have to continue on. I have to keep going on, so I can be strong for her. And I have to do the things that still make me happy. And she's, you know, right now she's gone with Dad. She felt like going for a ride. She felt up to it. He promised her some of those new things that the kids are in, Labubu's or something. But she went to go get a couple of those with Dad. So, and she's happy. Her spirits are good. They said maybe within a few days after getting home is when we might start notice the fatigue, and she'll start slowing down. I don't know with this child, though. I don't know. But she's human. So I just wanted to get on and just share our story a little bit. I don't know why, but I felt comfortable doing so. I'm not one of those people who, you know, off camera have a bunch of friends to call. My circle is very small, and I like it that way. But I do have a lot of online, you know, friends, as I call them. Like I said, I can't just call somebody up. It used to be my sister, and she's no longer with us. And my other sister, 4 days before my daughter, this happened with my daughter, my other sister had called me, and she was just diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. So we have to go through that again. I've known there's been something there with her, and she only confirmed it. But anyway, I thought I just could come on and let everybody know what's going on in our life right now, and maybe you guys could send some healing energy for Joelle and our family. And you know, it's your videos, a lot of you, Amethyst Ascension, Nordic Flow, Carrie's Mystical Muses, Simon from the Hermit's Cave, Erie's Witchcraft, so many. Those late night hospital stays, I would tune into you guys, you know, and free my mind for just a little while. So all I ask is maybe for some positive healing vibes for all of us here going through this. And I will be back to doing videos. If you're watching from my Facebook page, I will be back to doing personal private readings. I just have to give a couple days to get my, my wits back together. I need more sleep, because while we were there, we didn't sleep, we didn't eat very good, and now we have to recharge, regroup, recharge. So for the 2 weeks out of the month that we're home, I will be offering the private readings. And for the week that we're away, that'll be, probably won't be on social media as much. So, which is understandable. I don't really like to pack my decks all up and take them. I especially don't want, them to get ruined or anything. But I did have a deck. My husband came all the way back, took the drive back home to get me a deck so that I could have that with me. But thank you for listening to us. Please keep us in your thoughts and good energy. Maybe light a positive candle for her, and help us kick cancer's ass. And thank you. I love you guys. I do. YouTube is my little happy place. I mean, a lot of people's happy place is sitting by the ocean. I mean, sure, I'd love to sit by the ocean too, but it's not an option. We don't live around the ocean. But YouTube gets me through those nights where I can't sleep and, my head is just all over the place. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep us in your thoughts and in your prayers, however which way you pray. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Stay safe. Pay attention to your body. If your body's telling you something's wrong, go get checked. I will see you guys all again soon. Take care and be blessed.